Successful conflict resolution depends on your ability to stay calm. Manage stress while remaining alert and calm. By staying calm, you can accurately read and interpret verbal and nonverbal communication. Control your emotions and behavior. When you're in control of your emotions, you can communicate your needs without threatening, frightening, or punishing others. Pay attention to the feelings being expressed, as well as the spoken words of others. Be aware of and respectful of differences. By avoiding disrespectful words and actions, you can resolve the problem faster. Thomas Jefferson said, "Nothing gives one so much advantage over another as to remain always cool and unruffled under all circumstances." Successful conflict resolution depends on your ability to understand conflict. In many cases, conflict in the workplace just seems to be a fact of life. We've all seen situations where different people with different goals and needs have come into conflict. And we've all seen the often intense personal animosity that can result. The fact that conflict exists, however, is not necessarily a bad thing. As long as it is resolved effectively, it can lead to personal and professional growth. In many cases, effective conflict resolution can make the difference between positive and negative outcomes. By learning the skills you need for successful conflict resolution, you can keep your professional relationships strong and growing. Successful conflict resolution depends on your ability to listen to understand. When most of us get into a dispute, the first thing we do is stop listening. The only way to settle a dispute or solve any kind of problem is to listen carefully to what the other person is saying. Let the person be fully heard with regard to their perspective, what they want, and why. If they are interrupted and ask what would be acceptable before they have finished telling all about the problem, that person gets the message that all you want to do is sweep the issue under the carpet. People build trust with those that listen. In certain situations, you may need to open the dialogue with questions such as, "Can I ask you what about that bothered you the most?" Or, "What about the situation bothered you the most?" These invite people to go deeper into the problem and tell you what is the real issue. Validate the concerns of the other person, even if a solution is elusive at this time. Expressing appreciation can be a very powerful message if it is conveyed with integrity and respect. Successful conflict resolution depends on your ability to state your case tactfully. The key here is to help people understand your perspective without making them defensive. You have a bottom line of what you're able to do in each situation. For example, when you have a parent that does not check in at the office and you are tasked with asking them to follow the policies and procedures, be sure to approach them as being concerned for the welfare of the students and staff and not make them feel like they are in trouble for not following the rules. This disarms the person you are speaking to, and it takes the fight out of their next statement back to you. This strategy can be used in a multitude of situations. Successful conflict resolution depends on your ability to attack the problem, not the person. Your points will be heard more clearly if you can depersonalize your comments and point only at the issue. Rather than accusing people of always messing things up, it is better to say, "We'll have to take a closer look at why this keeps happening." Successful conflict resolution depends on your ability to avoid the blame game. Assigning blame is only helpful in one instance, if you assign it to yourself. Generally speaking, figuring out whose fault something is does not do any good if the goal is to fix a problem. It is a diversion and sometimes a costly one, because if a person feels blamed, he or she often checks out of a conversation. Focus on what you and the others can do to solve a problem and make it better, and it will be behind you before you know it. Successful conflict resolution depends on your ability to be confident. You can do this. Many people are afraid of confrontation and shy away from it. Now that you have these tools, it is imperative that you use them. You owe it to your customers and your coworkers. Remember these key points. Conflict in the workplace can be incredibly destructive to good teamwork. Managed in the wrong way, real and legitimate differences between people can quickly spiral out of control, resulting in situations where cooperation breaks down and the team's mission is threatened. This is particularly the case where the wrong approaches to conflict resolution are used. To calm these situations down, it helps to take a positive approach to conflict resolution, where discussion is courteous and non-confrontational, and the focus is on the issues rather than on the individuals. If this is done, then as long as people listen carefully and explore facts, issues, and possible solutions properly, conflict can often be resolved effectively.